Today is a huge day for the channel. I've got some really exciting news that I've been wanting to fill you guys in on for quite a while now. But before we get to that, here's a bit of background. So about 2 years ago, I had a brand new MRT lift-off canopy fitted to the back of my brand new D-Max at the time, which was such an amazing experience, and that really kick-started a bit of a build series here on the channel where I set that canopy setup up for the many adventures that Bianca and I have been on since. It might sound weird, but honestly, some of my favorite memories of the channel were all those late nights spent trying to get that canopy setup built just the way I wanted, and sharing that process with you guys right here on this channel. Because in a lot of ways, that's kind of where the channel began all those years ago, with just an average guy like myself trying to build his very own canopy setup in his garage at home. In the years since, Bianca and I have absolutely loved getting out around WA and putting that setup to good use. I'm the first to admit that it's definitely not a perfect setup. I mean, my kitchen bench is way too high for poor Bianca, and I definitely haven't used the storage side as effectively as I could. But when it comes down to it, it's still something that I've built myself, and that satisfaction you get living off grid in something you've actually constructed yourself is quite a special feeling. If I'm honest though, I've really been missing that raw DIY side of things here on the channel. It's what I absolutely love doing more than anything else, and based on the feedback I get from you guys, it's what you like watching as well. But the thing is, now that the canopy setup's pretty much finished, where do we go from here? I'll tell you where we go. We go all the way back to the very beginning and do things bigger and better than ever. As you can see, we are starting again from scratch, and honestly, I could not be more excited. Now, before we jump into the details of this brand new setup, I just want to take a moment to say a massive thank you to you guys watching these videos. Without your support over the years, the channel just wouldn't be where it is today, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to do what I absolutely love doing. Another thank you I want to extend is to MRT themselves as well for agreeing to swap out the old canopy for this brand new chassis mount beast. They've been such a massive supporter of the channels all the way since the very beginning, and without them, this next chapter just wouldn't be possible. Okay, so what's the deal with this new setup? I know it looks quite similar to the last one, but it's actually quite a bit different. So this is one of MRT's brand new chassis mount canopies, so no more tray, no more lifting the canopy off, and it's currently a blank canvas, which is just so exciting. I'll do a much more thorough run through of this canopy setup once I've had a chance to properly deck it out and use it on some epic adventures to give you guys that real world experience. But for now, let's run through what makes this setup different from the last. So number one is probably the most significant difference, and that you'll see straight away. This new chassis mount canopy has a flush floor, so there's no more of those annoying canopy lips that you have to raise your accessories to clear. The floor is nice and flush, and also a lot lower than the previous canopy setup. And I know that's something Bianca is particularly excited about, because my kitchen is going to be able to be a lot lower than the previous really high version. And another kind of byproduct of that as well, and also not having the tray, we get a lot more internal usable height in this canopy setup. So much height, in fact, that you can actually install a Bushman 130 litre fridge in these setups. Bit of a spoiler alert, that's actually what these two columns are going to be for, mounting a nice big Bushman 130 litre fridge. And to put that in a bit of context, my previous canopy setup had an 85 litre fridge freezer combo, and that only just used to fit height-wise, whereas these you can fit a 130 litre, so that's pretty awesome. And it's also just going to make my fit-out process a lot more flexible as well, having a lot more height to use. Moving up in the canopy setup here, these also come with built-in LED lights that come all pre-wired back to your vehicle's battery. So we've got a two-stage switch with a both warm and also a cool LED light, which is really nice. Super neat and tucked away there. Obviously one on both sides. And because it comes pre-wired, it's actually wired through the central locking system as well. The whole canopy's got central locking. And if you lock the canopy, it actually automatically turns your light off. So if you get up into your tent at night and you can't remember if you turn your lights off, you can lock your canopy and be confident that those lights are turned off, which is just awesome. If we close the canopy down, the next difference we'll see is these are actually slammed shut, which is just next level. There's no more whale tails, no more T-locks, just a nice handle right in the center, just the one handle that works quite similar to your door handle of the car. Just give that a pull. Open the canopy door up, easy as that. And that also means that it now latches on the edge instead of those old locks kind of grabbing onto the inside of the canopy here. So that's gonna, again, make the fit out a little bit more flexible too. As we close the canopy setup down, you'll also notice that underneath the canopy door, the toolboxes now have that exact same handle as well to open those up. And those are also wired through the central locking. So the press of a button, we can literally lock the whole setup up, which is just awesome. And the last main benefit of this new chassis mount canopy is because we now no longer have that tray underneath the canopy, the actual overall package is a fair bit lighter than the previous tray and canopy setup combined. And trust me, like with the amount of weight you end up adding to these canopy setups, we are very grateful to start with a lower overall weight. What that means for the channel is a brand new build series fitting out this new canopy setup to take Bianca and I on some epic adventures around Australia.
Hello. Yeah, we are really, really excited.
Yeah.
We're taking literally nothing from the last setup to
Starting
put
from
into
scratch.
this. Yep, we are starting with a completely empty canopy. The only things we have kept is our rooftop tent because we love it, and the awning. Everything else is gone.
Absolutely.
So,
and now this is essentially our third canopy setup that we're fitting out, and very fortunate to have the chance to do so. But in doing that, I really want to take what we've learned from the previous two canopy setups to make something, I guess, bigger and better than the rest.
Yeah, definitely. Something that's on my mind firstly is a kitchen I can reach.
Exactly. So I hope you guys are keen for a bunch of canopy fit out content right here on the channel. I am so excited, if you guys can't already tell. Been talking Paul Bianca's ear off about this canopy setup for about a month now.
I'm excited to stop hearing about canopy builds.
Exactly. So yeah, cannot wait to get started. I'll bring you guys along for that whole ride too. Bring on the late nights and let the build begin.